The spaces she once tolerated are no longer aligned with her spirit. She no longer fits into the mold she once tried so hard to squeeze into. As she does not mourn this, she embraces it. She understands that her solitude was not meant to break her, it was meant to build her. The strong woman who rebuilds herself alone does not rush the process. She does not seek shortcuts. She does not allow loneliness to lead her back to what broke her. She stands firm, knowing that what she is building within herself is more valuable than anything she could gain from prematurely reattaching to the wrong people, the wrong places, the wrong habits. She trusts that when the time is right, the right connections will come, the right opportunities will come, the right community will come, but for now she focuses on herself, she focuses on healing, she focuses on becoming. She no longer needs to explain why she is moving differently. She no longer justifies her boundaries. She no longer apologizes for choosing herself. Because she understands now that isolation was never about punishment, it was about preparation. It was about making room for the woman she was always meant to be. There is something about the process of rebuilding that forces a woman to tap into a level of strength she never knew she had. It is not the kind of strength that comes from simply enduring pain. It is the kind of strength that comes from learning, growing, and transforming in the midst of it. It is the kind of strength that is developed in the silence of struggle, in the moments when she is standing alone, in the spaces where she must push through even when everything in her wants to stop. This is the strength that is cultivated in the process, not just in the outcome. Because the process is where the real work happens, the process is where she discovers herself, and the process is what prepares her for what comes next. When a woman makes the decision to rebuild, she does not step onto an easy path. There is nothing smooth or simple about reconstructing herself from the ground up. It is uncomfortable, it is exhausting, and it is full of moments that test everything inside of her. There will be days when she questions if she is even making progress. There will be moments when she looks at her journey and wonders if it would be easier to just stop trying. And this is why the process requires a different kind of strength, one that does not come from external motivation but from deep within. Strength in the process is not just about pushing through hard times, it is about embracing the lessons that come with them. It is about shifting her mindset from seeing difficulties as obstacles to recognizing them as opportunities for growth. Because the truth is, nothing changes without challenge, nothing transforms without resistance, and every struggle she faces in this process is shaping her into the woman she is meant to become. She cannot afford to resent the process. She must learn to work with it, to lean into it, to trust that it is doing something inside of her that she cannot yet see. One of the hardest parts of the process is the waiting. When she is doing the work but not yet seeing the results, when she is healing but still feels the pain, when she is growing but the breakthrough has not yet come, this is where most people give up. This is where frustration tries to convince her that the effort is not worth it. But the strong woman knows that growth does not happen overnight. She knows that real transformation is not instant. She understands that what she is building within herself requires time, and she refuses to quit just because she has not yet arrived. She also understands that part of her strength in the process comes from being willing to face the things she once avoided. Rebuilding is not just about moving forward, it is also about confronting the things that kept her stuck in the first place. It is about dealing with the patterns, the beliefs, the fears that once held her back. This is not easy work. It takes courage to look at herself honestly, to acknowledge where she needs to change, to take responsibility for the way she has settled for less than she deserved. But this is necessary work because she cannot build a new life on top of old wounds. She cannot move into the future while still carrying the weight of the past. Healing is part of the process, and healing is not just about forgetting what happened, it is about reclaiming her power from it. It is about refusing to let past pain dictate her future. It is about rewriting the story she tells herself about who she is. This takes time. This takes effort. And most importantly, this takes grace, because there will be days when she feels strong, and there will be days when she feels weak. There will be moments of clarity and moments of confusion, but the key to strength in the process is understanding that every step, even the difficult ones, are part of the journey. She also learns that strength is not about doing everything alone. While she may be rebuilding herself independently, she is not without support. Strength is knowing when to ask for help. Strength is allowing herself to be poured into. Strength is not about proving that she does not need anyone. It is about understanding that she deserves relationships that add to her, not drain her. Part of her rebuilding is learning to recognize who and what is truly good for her. She no longer has the capacity to entertain connections that do not align with the woman she is becoming. She no longer seeks validation from places that once left her empty. She no longer accepts relationships that require her to shrink in order to be loved. Strength in the process is also about consistency. The decision to rebuild is not a one-time choice, it is a daily commitment. It is waking up each morning and deciding again to keep going. It is choosing discipline over comfort. It is refusing to settle for temporary relief at the expense of long-term growth. She understands that she cannot just want a new life, she has to be willing to work for it. And that work is not glamorous. It is not always exciting, it is often slow and repetitive. But this is where real transformation happens, because every small step she takes, every time she chooses growth over complacency, she is reinforcing the foundation of the woman she is becoming. There will be temptations to go back. There will be moments when the familiarity of her old life seems easier than the uncertainty of this new one. There will be times when she wonders if the struggle is even worth it, but she has come too far to quit now. She has already seen glimpses of who she is capable of becoming. She has already tasted the freedom of no longer being bound by the past, and she refuses to let temporary discomfort keep her from permanent change. She understands now that strength is not about never feeling weak, it is about refusing to let weakness define her. It is about knowing that struggle is part of the process, but struggle is not the final destination. It is about standing in the middle of the storm and reminding herself that she is not the same woman she was before. She is stronger now, she is wiser now, she is more resilient now, and no matter how difficult the process gets, she is committed to seeing it through. She is no longer building for survival, she is building for abundance. She is no longer constructing out of fear. She is constructing out of faith. She is no longer looking for quick fixes, she is laying down a foundation that will last. She is not just rebuilding for herself, she is setting the standard for every woman who comes after her. She is showing what is possible when a woman refuses to be defined by what broke her, when she chooses to rise, when she commits to the process even when it is hard. She has learned to trust herself again. She has learned to trust the timing of her journey. She has learned to trust that everything she is going through is shaping her for something greater. She does not rush, she does not force, she does not allow fear to dictate her steps. She walks with confidence even when she does not have all the answers. She moves with certainty even when she is still in the process of becoming. Because she knows that real strength is not just about getting to the destination, it is about who she becomes on the journey. There comes a moment in a woman's journey where she realizes that she can no longer afford to stay where she is. She has spent too much time looking back, too much energy grieving over what was lost, too many sleepless nights wondering if she made the right choices, if she should have held on longer, if things could have been different. But something shifts inside of her, something undeniable, something that tells her it is time to move forward. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It is time to stop rehearsing the past and start stepping boldly into the new. The problem with looking back is that it tricks the mind into believing that what was left behind was better than what is ahead. It makes pain seem like it was easier than healing, makes dysfunction feel like it was more familiar than peace, makes struggle appear safer than stepping into the unknown. But she knows that staying in the past is no longer an option. She cannot afford to carry old wounds into new seasons. She cannot build something fresh while clinging to what has already fallen apart. She cannot walk into the fullness of her purpose while dragging the weight of what used to be. Walking boldly into the new requires her to make peace with what was. It requires her to acknowledge the pain, to honor the lessons, but to no longer let them hold her hostage. It is not about forgetting, it is about releasing. It is about understanding that the past served its purpose, that it shaped her, that it prepared her, but that it is not where she belongs anymore. She has grown beyond it. She has evolved past it. She is no longer the same woman she was when she first walked through those doors, and now she must allow herself to step into what is waiting for her on the other side. This transition is not always easy. There will be moments of hesitation, moments where fear whispers that the unknown is too risky, that it is safer to stay in what is familiar. There will be moments when the past tries to call her back, when old habits, old relationships, old ways of thinking try to convince her that change is unnecessary. But the woman who is ready to walk into the new must learn to silence those voices. She must remind herself that fear is not a sign to turn around, it is a sign that she is on the edge of something greater. She must remember that if she stays in places she has outgrown, she will only shrink into a version of herself that no longer fits. There's power in deciding to move, to have all the answers, to take the first step. She does not need to have every detail figured out before she begins. What she needs is trust in herself, trust in the journey, and trust in the God who has been guiding her all along. She realizes that stepping into the new means embracing a new mindset. The thoughts that kept her stuck before can no longer have space in her mind. The doubts that once held her back can no longer be given power. She has to start speaking differently, thinking differently, seeing herself differently. No longer will she question whether she is enough. No longer will she settle for things that do not align with her worth. No longer will she shrink herself to fit into spaces that were never meant for her. She will walk with the confidence of a woman who knows who she is, a woman who understands her value, a woman who refuses to let anything from her past dictate what she is capable of becoming. As she moves forward, she begins to see doors opening that she never could have imagined. Opportunities arise that were not available to her before, not because they didn't exist, but because she was not in the position to receive them. She understands now that the new version of her required a shedding of the old. It required her to let go of what was blocking her. It required her to release what was weighing her down. And now that she has done the work, now that she has cleared the space, she is finally ready to receive what was meant for her all along. This journey is not just about her. As she walks boldly, she becomes a blueprint for other women who are watching her. She becomes proof that it is possible to rise, proof that it is possible to heal, proof that it is possible to rebuild. There are women who will look at her and realize that they too can let go, that they too can move forward, that they too can step into a new season with courage instead of fear. She is not just walking for herself, she is walking for every woman who needs to see that it is possible. She understands now that there is no going back. She has worked too hard, healed too deeply, and grown too much to return to anything that no longer serves her. The past may have shaped her, but it does not define her. The pain may have been part of her story, but it is not her identity. She is stepping into something greater. She is stepping into something she has never seen before. And even though she does not have all the details, she knows one thing for certain: she is ready. This time she is not walking with hesitation. She is not stepping cautiously, waiting for permission. She is not looking around for validation. She is moving with certainty. She is moving with confidence. She is moving with the full assurance that she was made for this moment. She is no longer questioning whether she deserves it. She is no longer wondering if she is qualified. She is no longer doubting whether she belongs. She knows that she does. She knows that everything she has been through has prepared her for what is ahead. She knows that she is walking into a season that was designed specifically for her. She refuses to let fear make her small. She refuses to let doubt hold her back. She refuses to let past mistakes convince her that she is not worthy of new beginnings. She understands that every time she chooses to move forward, she is breaking chains. She is shattering limitations. She is rewriting her own narrative. She is proving that a woman who decides to rise cannot be stopped. The journey ahead may not be easy, but she is not looking for easy. She is looking for purpose. She is looking for growth. She is looking for alignment, and she is willing to do whatever it takes to walk fully in the life that was meant for her. She is done playing small. She is done waiting for the right moment. She is done questioning if she has what it takes. She is stepping boldly, stepping powerfully, stepping unapologetically into everything that is hers. She is not the woman she used to be. She is stronger now. She is wiser now. She is bolder now. She is no longer waiting for life to happen to her. She is taking control. She is making the decisions. She is setting the boundaries. She is choosing herself. And in doing so, she is stepping into a life that is bigger, fuller, and more beautiful than she ever imagined. There is no fear in her steps. There is no hesitation in her movement. She knows who she is now. She knows what she deserves now. She is not looking back. She is not second-guessing. She is not waiting for approval. She is walking boldly into everything that is meant for her. And as she moves forward, she carries with her the undeniable truth that she was always meant to rise.